She already decided you don't matter. That decision was never final. It was just the last thing she noticed about you, and the mind, unlike the heart, is always willing to be corrected. Sit with that for a second. Because most men hear, she's not interested, and they hear a verdict, a locked door, a closed case. But psychology doesn't work like a courtroom. It works like weather. It shifts. It responds to pressure, to warmth, to stillness. And the man who understands this, the man who stops treating her indifference as a wall and starts treating it as a pattern waiting to be interrupted, that man changes the entire outcome without saying a single desperate word. Tonight, we're not going to talk about pickup lines. We're not going to talk about tricks, gimmicks, or some cologne that supposedly rewires her brain. We're going to talk about something colder and something far more powerful. The actual architecture of female attraction, built from real psychology, real research, and a simple framework. Hook, insight, proof, shift. Because attraction isn't chaos, it's a system. And once you see the system, you can never unsee it. Stay until the end. Because the final truth in this video is the one most men never hear, and it's the one that changes everything. Here's what almost no one tells you about a woman's first impression of you. It isn't permanent, it's provisional. In 1943, psychologist Solomon Asch discovered something called the primacy effect, the idea that first information disproportionately shapes our overall judgment of a person. This is real. It's why her first 30 seconds with you matter more than the next 30 minutes. But here's the part almost everyone ignores. The primacy effect creates a lens, not a sentence. It colors how she interprets what comes next. It doesn't decide what comes next. This is where relationship researcher John Gottman's work becomes essential. Gottman spent decades studying couples, and one of his most quoted findings is what he calls the positive sentiment override the emotional state where a person begins interpreting even neutral or mildly negative behavior through a generous lens. Simply because enough positive experiences have accumulated in the relationship's emotional bank account. Here's the part that should stop you cold. Positive sentiment override doesn't require romantic history. It requires consistency of feeling. Every time you show up calm when she expects chaos, secure when she expects need, warm when she expects indifference, you're making a deposit. And deposits compound. Her first impression was a single data point. What you do next is the data set. She's not judging you once. She's updating a model of you in real time whether she admits it or not. Most men, when a woman shows disinterest, do one of two things. They either disappear, shrink, go quiet, remove themselves from the equation entirely, or they overcorrect, performing confidence so loudly it reads as noise. Both responses share the same root, anxiety disguised as strategy. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's research on emotion and decision-making revealed something the dating world has largely ignored, that emotional states are not just felt internally, they're broadcast externally, through what he calls somatic markers, microsignals, in posture, breath tone, and movement that other people read unconsciously faster than language. In plain terms, she can feel your nervous system before she can hear your words. This is why performance fails. Performance is a mask laid over anxiety, and anxiety still leaks through the somatic markers underneath it. The slightly rushed speech, the over-explaining, the eyes that check for approval instead of simply seeing her. She may not consciously name what she's picking up on, but she feels it, and what she feels, she trusts more than what she hears. The alternative isn't confidence as performance, it's regulation as identity. When you regulate your own nervous system, slow your breath, drop your shoulders, let silence exist without rushing to fill it, you're not performing calm, you're broadcasting it. And broadcasted calm is contagious in a very literal, biological sense. Primatologist Frans de Waal spent his career studying empathy and emotional contagion in primates, and one of his central findings applies directly here. Emotional states spread between individuals through mirror neuron activity, largely below conscious awareness. Calm regulates the room. Anxiety destabilizes it. When you walk into her presence regulated, not performing, just settled, something in her nervous system responds to yours before her conscious mind has made a single judgment. This is the first real shift. Not what you say to her, what your nervous system says about you before you've said anything at all. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Her disinterest, more often than not, was never really about you. Carl Jung spent much of his life studying a psychological mechanism called projection, the process by which we attribute our own unacknowledged feelings, fears, and expectations onto the people around us. When she meets you and files you under not interested, she's often not evaluating you. She's running you through a filter built from every disappointing interaction, every unmet expectation, every past version of a man who let her down before you ever walked in the room. This isn't an excuse to disregard her feelings. It's information. Because if her initial read of you is partly projection, then the way to shift it isn't to argue with her perception, it's to give her nervous system new data that the projection can't hold on to. Projection collapses under contradiction. If her internal filter expects a man who needs her approval, and you consistently show up needing nothing from her, not validation, not a reaction, not even her attention, the filter has nowhere to attach. It has to update. Not because you convinced her with words, but because reality stopped matching the story. This is slow work. It is not a single clever sentence. It's the accumulation of moments where you simply refuse to perform the role her past has already written for you. Now here's where most men get it catastrophically wrong, because they've absorbed a half-truth: be confident. And so they build a wall of stoicism so thick that nothing human gets through it. But total emotional withholding isn't attraction, it's just a different flavor of fear. Researcher Brené Brown's work on vulnerability reframed an idea that most men were never taught. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is, in her words, the birthplace of connection. But, and this is critical, the vulnerability that builds attraction is chosen, not leaked. There's a difference between a man who shares something honest because he's grounded enough to survive her reaction either way, and a man who overshares because he's anxious for reassurance. The first is magnetic, the second is repellent, same information. Completely different nervous system underneath it. This is the paradox almost no dating advice ever resolves. You build attraction not by hiding your humanity, and not by dumping it on her either, but by revealing it selectively, calmly, on your own terms, in a way that says, I trust myself enough to be seen. That single quality, self-trust, is rarer than charisma, rarer than looks, rarer than money. And it is, without exception, what every serious study on long-term attraction keeps circling back to. There's a well-documented psychological phenomenon called misattribution of arousal, first studied in the famous 1974 shaky bridge experiment by Dutton and Aaron. Men who met a woman on a frightening suspension bridge, heart racing, adrenaline spiking, reported significantly more attraction to her than men who met the same woman on solid, safe ground. Their bodies were aroused by fear. Their minds, in the absence of a clear explanation, attributed that arousal to her. This is real, this is measurable. And it explains why the men who create emotionally charged, slightly unpredictable experiences, as opposed to the fourth identical dinner and a movie date, tend to leave a deeper imprint. Adrenaline doesn't care about its source, it just needs somewhere to land. But here's the nuance almost every surface-level breakdown of this study misses. The effect only works when the underlying interaction is safe. Fear plus safety creates excitement. Fear plus danger creates trauma. If she doesn't feel fundamentally secure with you, physically, emotionally, no amount of manufactured adrenaline will read as attraction. It will read as a threat. So the goal was never chaos for its own sake. It was building emotional peaks. The unexpected, the slightly thrilling, the mildly uncertain, on top of the foundation of unmistakable safety. That combination, and only that combination, is what her nervous system encodes as, "This man makes me feel alive." Psychologist Paul Ekman spent decades studying micro-expressions, the fleeting, often involuntary facial signals that reveal true emotional states, sometimes lasting less than half a second. Ekman's research showed something important. People are far more perceptive of authentic emotional signals than they consciously realize. We read faces, tone, and micro-behavior long before we process the actual content of what's being said. This is why the smallest actions carry more psychological weight than the biggest declarations. The way you handle a moment of friction. Whether you're kind to someone who can do nothing for you. Whether your calm holds when things don't go your way. These aren't just nice things to do, they are data points her nervous system is silently logging, whether or not she's consciously aware she's keeping score. A man who needs credit for his kindness is broadcasting insecurity. A man who is simply, quietly consistent, who doesn't perform decency, who just has it, becomes someone her subconscious starts to trust before her conscious mind has caught up. This is the part almost no one talks about. Attraction isn't built in the big moments, it's built in the moments no one was supposed to be watching. Here's where most men, having done everything right, sabotage themselves in the final stretch: the rush. The rush to define things, the rush for the kiss, the rush for reassurance that what's happening is real. But restraint isn't a strategy of withholding affection, it's a demonstration of internal security. When you resist the urge to chase closure, to demand certainty, to fill every silence with a question that's really just asking, "Do you like me?" Yet you're proving without a single word that your sense of worth was never dependent on her answer. This is the deepest form of what psychologists call secure attachment. Not the absence of desire, but the presence of desire without desperation. You want her. And you don't need her to survive the day. Both things, held together, are what create magnetic tension. Remove either one, and the whole thing collapses, either into cold detachment or into anxious pursuit. Mystery isn't a trick to manufacture. It's simply what's left over when a man refuses to spill his entire inner will onto someone before they've earned it. Let's bring this all the way back to where we started. She decided you don't matter. But that decision was built on incomplete information, a single data point, filtered through her own projections, formed in the first 30 seconds of an interaction that hadn't even begun to reveal who you actually are. Every principle in this video points to the same underlying truth. You were never meant to convince her. Persuasion is loud, it's effortful, it smells like desperation even when it's dressed up in confidence. What actually works is quieter and far more disciplined. Regulate your nervous system so it broadcasts calm instead of anxiety. Refuse to perform the role her past projections have already written for you. Reveal yourself selectively, not because you're hiding, but because you trust yourself enough not to need her permission. Build emotional peaks on a foundation of safety, not chaos. Let your quiet, unwatched behavior do the convincing your words never could. And when the moment comes to chase certainty, don't. This is the part most men never learn because it isn't taught anywhere they're looking. Attraction was never a reaction you extract from someone through the right words or the right move. It's a byproduct, the natural result of becoming someone whose presence doesn't need her approval to feel complete. She's not going to remember what you said tonight. She's going to remember how she felt when she was near you. Safe, unsettled in the best way, and quietly certain that you were not like the others she'd already filed away. That's not a technique. That's not a hack. That's just what happens when a man stops performing for a verdict and starts becoming the kind of presence no verdict can hold.